In my video about Geforce Now last week, I spoke about how I thought the streaming on the service was very good, especially for the price, but that the service did have some problems, specifically in the way games would disappear off the service without you having any control over that, despite the fact that these were actually games you'd paid for because you're streaming them from Steam or the Epic Game Store and stuff like that. The problem is, though, that when I was talking about the service and I was talking about the price, it was actually $4.99 a month. So that was pretty good, even with all the caveats I gave. However, fast forward to this week, and we've got stories breaking about the price going up. And as you can see here, I've got Tech Radar up, and it says here, Nvidia Geforce Now is about to get much more expensive, and they're not kidding, it is. If we go down, it says new members will have to pay twice as much. And they say here, it says, Nvidia has announced that it's doubling the price of Geforce Now subscriptions for new members from $4.99 a month to $9.99 a month. And that actually translates across to pounds as well. So it's going up from £4.99 a month to £9.99 a month. And it says the price hike comes as Nvidia confirms that its founders tier, which has always been advertised as a limited time offer, is being retired and will no longer be offered to new customers. And then it goes on to say, instead, the company is introducing a new priority membership, which is essentially identical to the old founders plans, offering gamers the same features such as extended session lengths and RTX on for ray traced graphics and DLSS in supported games. There's a pretty big difference though, and that's the price. While the founders tier was priced at $4.99, the new priority membership will cost twice as much at $9.99 per month. Nvidia will also be introducing a yearly plan priced at $99.99. So yeah, they're doubling the price. And there is some good news for people like me who are already founders members in that it's going to stay at the original price, and it should stay like that as long as you keep your subscription active. It says here, however, while bad news for new subscribers, Nvidia has said that its customers who are already subscribed to the founders tier, a group that rapidly approaches 10 million members, will be able to take advantage of a Founders for Life benefit. This will let them keep their existing $4.99 a month price indefinitely as long as their account remains active. So if you're on the Founders tier and you want to remain on the Founders tier, make sure that your bank account details are all up to date, because if you drop off the service, you're going to find it's doubled in price. And I do have to wonder whether Nvidia does want new members, because it would seem to me that this is guaranteed to put people off, especially if you look at the things I was talking about last week with the circumstance of games dropping off the service and things like that. The other issue that I was having last week was when I was trying to get Death Stranding working on the service, and I had this situation. If you look there, Death Stranding is showing us offline, and it's been showing us offline for, I think it's about 7 days now. So that's 7 days that people who are on Geforce Now haven't been able to access that game. And that's just not good enough. It wasn't good enough at $4.99 a month, and it's certainly not good enough at $9.99 a month. And it gets worse than that, because, again, I spoke at the time when I was making the video, certainly in the comments, that I thought that there was a problem in terms of the way keyboard and mouse games worked on Geforce Now. When you were trying to run them, on a tablet or something, and you only had a controller to work with. So if you were using a gamepad, you couldn't get certain games to run. And I'll show you what I mean by that. If we look here, you can see I've got the Quake RTX controller set up for Steam. So actually you can go into Steam. Let's just do that again. If we go into Steam, you can go into Manage and then drop down and you've got Controller Configuration. So you bring that up and you can see this here. And you can actually load in controller configurations that other people have created. And then you can actually play that game, in this instance Quake RTX. You can play that game, or Quake 2 RTX. You can play that game with a controller even though it doesn't support a controller natively. But that's in Steam. And I actually went into Steam and I set this up and I was playing the game from Steam on my PC and I was using a controller. Now, the controls weren't perfect, but I was able to play the game. I then went across to Geforce Now and started playing the game within Geforce Now. So let's just bring Geforce Now up. And I went into Quake RTX here, and or here, I should say. And I went in and I played the game, went to play the game, and loaded it all up, and it didn't work. So even though I'd set it up with the overlay in Steam, that didn't translate across to Nvidia's Geforce Now service. So there's a problem there. Geforce Now doesn't seem to, or it's certainly not easy to set up, support controllers when the game doesn't natively support controllers, which for a streaming service is a pain in the neck. It advertises that it supports these games, but they only work with a keyboard and mouse, so you're going to have to sit at a computer and play them. So yeah, that irritates me. And like I say, while that's a problem when it's at $4.99 a month, I think it becomes a major problem when it's $9.99 a month, because you expect now for them to be really well out of beta. You're expecting them to have a smooth, slick, functioning service that you don't have to jump through fiery hoops to get things working. And I ran into this problem when I was trying to play Arma 3 as well. Had the same issue with Arma 3. This was a couple of years ago. I was trying to get Arma 3 to play on my Nvidia Shield, and while it would run, I couldn't actually play it because it wanted a keyboard and mouse. Now, okay, I could attach a keyboard and mouse to my Shield. I could use a wireless one, but it's not ideal. Most people, when they are using a service like this, they just want to sit down and play it. And that's where, I hate to say it, but that's where Google Stadia really comes in, because you sit down with Google Stadia, you load up the game, it just works. And this is a problem for Nvidia. And when they're going to start increasing this bloody price, well, I just don't think it's sustainable, and I don't think it's something that is going to encourage people to want to take out the service. I mean, if we go down here, it says, in addition to the price increase, Nvidia also previewed some of the new features it plans to add to its cloud-based streaming service in the near future. These include a larger library of games. Really? A larger library of games, when they already can't keep certain games running and certain games drop off the system. So they're planning a larger library of games when they can't even keep the ones they've got running. It's not good enough. It's just not good enough. And it says account linking for games with cross-platform support. Okay, that's cool. And support for adaptive VSync, which synchronizes frame rates at 60 or 59.94 hertz server side to match the display client side, reducing stutter and latency on supported games. Yeah, all very nice, but this is fiddling while Rome burns, in my view. Sort out the games that you're on your service. Sort out the games that should be working. So like Death Stranding, a game being offline for 7 days is not acceptable. You need to be more transparent, Nvidia. Tell us what's going on, and also make sure that the games that are on the service are running. I mean, if it's down for 12 hours or something, that's not, it's an irritant, but it's not a huge deal. 7 days is a huge deal. And it says it's also adding data center capacity in Phoenix and Arizona, as well as bringing online its first Canadian data center later this year, both of which will help reduce wait times. Brilliant. Excellent. I've got no problem with that either. If they're increasing the number of data centers, that's just going to make it better for people using the service. But like I say, you want to be able to use the service. The streaming on Geforce Now is fantastic. It works really well. It's up there with the best, I would say. It's up there with Stadia. I think it's better than xCloud currently, although xCloud's still in beta. But these problems are going to become more stark with this price rise. And I know I keep going on about it, but you know, $4.99 to $9.99. Here we go. $4.99 to $9.99. And what extra are you getting for that, really? You're not. You know, this thing about adding in more games, include a larger library of games. Well, that's just talk, isn't it? That's just talk at this stage, because games keep disappearing off the service. And the way I look at it, the potential that was there for the service when it first started, and when it was in beta, for crying out loud, it was actually better. Before it was priced and put out there onto the market, it actually had more games and there was more access. So now they're increasing the price and it's actually gone backwards. It's improved in some ways and got worse in others. And like I say, just simple things like a controller overlay for keyboard and mouse, just so you can just sit down and play it. And I know I keep harping on about it, but these are quality of life issues. You don't want to be faffing about. I mean, I think 3 days last week, off and on. Obviously, I didn't spend 24 hours doing it, but 3 days off and on last week. And I've been back looking at it this week as well a couple of times, trying to see if there was any way at all to get this working with Nvidia Shield. And like I say, I might have missed something. It may work. But that doesn't mean a damn thing to your ordinary punter out there. Your ordinary punter out there, as I keep harping on, just wants to sit down and play the games. And Geforce Now is a faff. It's difficult to set up. It's difficult to get working. And when it does work, you end up with situations like this. Offline. Or Quake RTX not working because you can load the game up and it runs, but you can't use a controller. Same with Arma 3. So, yeah, nice idea. Great streaming. Love the streaming. You know, I can't fault that really. It is, as I say, up there with the best. But as a service, frankly, it's piss poor. And it is certainly not worth $9.99 a month. Not for my money anyway. I'm going to remain subscribed for $4.99. I think that's, chump change. But yeah, you can't expect people to be paying these sort of prices and then not give them a fully fledged service, because that's the problem. It isn't a fully fledged service. And the way it's going, I don't know as it ever will be. So anyway, $9.99 a month, a price hike. Are they tripping? Seriously, are they tripping? Oh, Nvidia. I'm sure some people will pay it, but I certainly wouldn't. Not as it stands. But anyway, that's me ranted enough. I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to get myself a cup of tea. Maybe go and lie down in a dark room. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell and all the rest of it. Make sure you get post notifications, because otherwise you won't get my videos. And I'm sure you like listening to me witter on. Anyway, that's it. I'm done. I'll see you later. Cheers.